Coming up on today's show, we've got a ton of highlights for you from the men's and women's soccer games, women's volleyball, the hockey team's practice report, and so much more. Don't go anywhere because the LTU Sports Report starts right now. What's up, LTU fans? I'm your host, Elizabeth Kuhn, and I'm here to take you through another edition of the LTU Sports Report. This show is presented by Lawrence Technological University and sponsored by Henry Ford Sports Medicine. Coming up first, we head over to the Don Riddler Fieldhouse as the women's volleyball team took on the Warriors of Indiana Tech in their home opener. Let's check it out.
We're here inside Don Riddler Fieldhouse for the first home volleyball game of the season. And the Lawrence Tech Blue Devils would take on the Warriors of Indiana Tech. Last season, LTU had a historical year for the Blue Devils as they made it all the way to the NAIA National Tournament, ending their season with a 33-4 record. After losing 2 All-Americans and having an extended off-season, can the Blue Devils regroup to get the win? Starting in the first set, the Blue Devils down 7-9 early, and it would be the freshman setter Nicole Wan who pulls the Blue Devils within 1 early, cutting into the Warriors' lead. However, after a hard-fought battle, LTU would drop the first set 25-23. Lawrence Tech would drop the second set 25-18, but the Blue Devils would have things rolling in the third set, jumping out to a 10-5 lead. And it would be the Howell, Michigan native Riley O'Connell who finishes the third set off for LTU. The Blue Devils would win this set 25-22. While LTU would force a fourth set, the Warriors would prove to be too much as the Blue Devils would drop this set 18-25. Lawrence Tech would go on to lose this one 3-1, bringing their overall record to 1-1.
All right, we're here with senior Shelby Rash, defensive specialist. Shelby, what were the positive takeaways from the third set?
We just focused on our game rather than what they were doing. Focus on us individually and what we needed to work on to be smart and score points that game.
And overall, just looking at the entire match, what are your takeaways for these younger freshmen to learn from?
Don't get discouraged every time we lose a point. We need to be better at shaking it off and just moving on. Volleyball's a game of air.
And you're saying you weren't necessarily focusing on Indiana Tech, but what made them so successful today?
They're returners. They only lost 1 senior last year, so they're kind of like a veteran team. They all work together, and coming in this year with a bunch of freshmen, it's going to be a hard team to work with, but we're going to get there because they're really young, but we're training them good.
Wishing you all the best of luck for your next match. Thank you, Shelby.
Thank you.
We love getting to know our student athletes a little better and hear what their interests are outside of sports. Coming up next, let's find out about one of our soccer players.
My name is Mohammed Bakr Al-Khuzai. I'm a freshman and I play men's soccer. My celebrity crush is Taylor Swift and it's her eyes. I think her eyes got me. On my spare time, I usually watch Hawaii Five-0. I kind of finished that binge watching because of COVID. After that, I think I'd watch NCIS, something with those lines. Yeah, now SEAL Team. SEAL Team is the next thing up, so. Favorite superhero is Flash. Funny story is I've been called Flash since high school on the media and everything, so I haven't even watched the actual show, but it's because of the personality he has. I really like birds. I just think they're intelligent beings, and I kind of grew up around them as pets.
The men's and women's golf team have had a great season this year. Let's hear from Sarah Davis as she gives us a recap from their most recent tournaments.
The men's and women's golf teams competed in their last fall tournament for the 2020 season, both coming out with first-place victories. Let's start with the women's side. After competing in the beautiful overcast conditions at Sylvania Country Club in Sylvania, Ohio, the Blue Devils secured their 4th first-place victory for the season. This tournament was the senior Sarah Davis's final collegiate tournament of her golf career. She and Rachel Christian tied for first place, both shooting in 85, just 7 strokes behind the leader. The Blue Devils had a very successful season and saw a ton of growth and consistency within the players. Switching gears over to the men's side, the Blue Devils also finished first place in the Grey Wolf Invitational. This was the men's 5th first-place victory of the season. Highlighting the men, Anthony Zettler took second place after shooting a 75. The men's team is very strong and has a consistent group of players this year and heading forward.
There were a ton of games this week for our Blue Devil teams. Here's a quick roundup of recent scores.
Here's a quick roundup of some Blue Devil final scores. On Saturday, October 10th, our soccer teams traveled down to Fort Wayne to take on Indiana Tech in a doubleheader. The women's squad pulled out a victory with a narrow 1-0 final score. The men weren't as fortunate as they dropped their game with a final of 2-0. The following day, our reserve soccer team faced Siena Heights, where they tied 3-3. The women's reserve volleyball team had 2 matches this week. They lost to both Rochester and Mott Community College with a final of 3-0.
We are going to take a short break, but first let's hear from our sponsors over at Henry Ford Sports Medicine. Welcome back to the LTU Sports Report. Coming up next, we talked with one of our new football coaches and hear what he's looking forward to for the upcoming season.
My name is Ed Carducci, and I coach the offensive line. I went to Salem High School. I played 4 years there, and then I went off to play at Grand Rapids Community College for a season. I moved home. I coached at Garden City High School for 4 seasons, and then I went to college at Concordia University and played and started for 4 years there. The thing I'm looking forward to the most this season is just seeing all the work that our guys have put in from last season, this off season, this quarantine, and being able to see it put on film for everybody when we get in game action to see all of their hard work pay off.
LTU football is ready for kickoff. A huge push to grow the roster is on now. Scholarship opportunities are available. If you are interested in playing football at Lawrence Technological University, recruit yourself by going to the football page at ltuathletics.com.
Now let's hear from Michelle on the cross-country team in another Get to Know segment.
My name's Michelle Meister. I run cross country and I'm a senior in architecture. My favorite TV show is Friends because it's just a classic and it will always make me laugh no matter what mood I'm in. I really like Florence and the Machine. They're not an artist, but they're a band. She's awesome. Her music's great. My favorite vacation spot has to be Paris. I've gone there 3 times now and I never hate it, so it's fantastic. My celebrity crush is Chris Hemsworth, because who doesn't love that man? My favorite superhero is probably Iron Man, because 1, he's really hot, and 2, he's like one of the most dynamic characters, I think. My favorite animal is elephants because they're just so friendly. They actually look at us like we're dogs, basically. How we look at dogs, they look at us like we're like some cute little thing.
Coming up next, we head over to the Blue Devils Stadium as the men's soccer team took on Trine this week.
We are here under the lights at Blue Devils Stadium where the Lawrence Tech men's soccer team looks to bounce back from their 2-0 loss to Indiana Tech. Tonight, the Blue Devils face the undefeated 4-0 Thunder of Trine University. Can the Blue Devils pull out the win? Let's find out. Starting in the first half, senior standout Juan Hermilo finds the back of the net after a penalty kick for the first point of the game. Moving along later in the first half, racing down the field is freshman Alexander Spravoski, who finds the back of the net from 10 yards out to put the Blue Devils up 2-0 going into the break. Coming back from the half, the Blue Devils are on a roll, and the Grand Haven native Jaden King shows some excellent footwork and would score Lawrence Tech's third goal of the game. LTU is up 3-0. Time winding down, the Blue Devils stay aggressive, and it would be King once again with the goal assisted by freshman Ethan Harkins. Lawrence Tech will go on to shut out Trine University 4-0, bringing their record to 2-1.
Just concentration on the game plan, remembering what we talked to them about, what we worked on this week. We told them the Indiana Tech game, even though we lost, that was the standard of how we want to play the remainder of the season. We came out a little flat, uneducated, made some bad decisions. It was a back and forth game, but once we got the ball in the back of the net, momentum and everything swung our way.
The men's hockey teams are getting ready for the start of their season. We caught up with them recently at their media day.
For a lot of us here, like I said, in Michigan, we couldn't really get on the ice, so that was kind of difficult. Other than playing like roller with some friends, or some out-of-state guys were able to get on the ice, which was good.
I feel more at home on the ice, so it's definitely good to be back here, and definitely was missed.
Didn't skate since like our last game last season, and it was pretty weird all summer, but at the same time it was kind of nice, and it made it, I feel like, more special coming back and skating with all the boys again, so kind of made it harder to come back, made the legs a little bit heavier.
Our main camp was supposed to be last week of August, so when the guys from out of state came in to move on campus, we were supposed to be skating every day, but the rinks didn't open until maybe like 3 weeks ago. So that's been throwing us off a little bit. We've been trying to meet in small groups, do a little conditioning, do off-ice stuff, but we haven't had an official main camp yet.
The only thing really that affected us was just mainly getting on the ice and really getting in groups, obviously, because that was shut down. But the team camaraderie is always high here. We always include everyone and everything, so everyone got to know each other. We had some great introduction games and, great icebreakers, as there always is with new teams.
First couple of practices, we were all a little rusty, so it was a little different then. But as we worked and as we played together, it's looking really good. We have a promising team, a lot of good guys added to the roster. So it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to getting on the ice with them and actually playing a real game with them.
My 5th year here, so I've seen like a lot of teams, and this is definitely the one I'm most excited about.
I think establishing benchmarks is what we're constantly in the process of doing, and right now it's everybody getting in game shape, ready to play, getting that game mentality ready to go now, and then we build off that as we go.
Obviously, I would love to go to nationals, but winning the WAC would be huge for me, especially as a 5th year and all these good teams coming out of the WAC. But I'm just happy to play with this COVID situation we have, and I'm going to take every game like it's my last.
The women's volleyball team had another match this week as they took on Concordia at home.
We're here inside the Don Riddler Fieldhouse as the Lawrence Tech women's volleyball team takes on the Cardinals of Concordia for a much-anticipated WAC matchup. Coming back from a tough loss to Indiana Tech, can the Blue Devils refocus and get the win? Starting in the first set, LTU looks to strike first, and it would be the sophomore middle hitter Madeline Hudson for the score, with an assist from the freshman setter Nicole Wan. The Blue Devils strike first, but would ultimately drop the first set 23-25. Jumping ahead to the third set, the Blue Devils would find a little rhythm. It would be Hudson again using force for the score and would tie the game at 20 apiece. Staying in the third set, Lawrence Tech will try to close things out, and it would be the senior from Farmington, Isabella McDonald, who would pull it out for the Blue Devils, and LTU would win the third set 25-23. On to the fourth set, in a must-win situation for the Blue Devils. Score is 19-20 in favor of the Cardinals, but the senior Peyton Hetty would come up big with a point to tie the game at 20 late in the fourth set. Although the effort was there, the Blue Devils would drop the set 24-26. Lawrence Tech would go on to lose this one, 3-1, bringing their overall record to 1-2.
Again, we battled like we should battle. All right, I think our offense is going to be where we struggle, and we knew that going in. We just got to make sure we continue to pass and serve tough. so it keeps us in that type thing. But I also think that Concordia has been improving every year, so their outsides are pretty tough to stop. So we knew it was going to be a battle.
We fought hard tonight. We had a difficult match. You know, we had a new lineup. We have a younger team this year than normal. We really tried, but we just have to push a little bit further. We have to communicate a little bit more. We have to just reach out and keep each other up a little bit more. I think it's just like a life lesson more than anything, and just keeping the energy positive and really trying to focus on yourself within the teams.
Now here's Dylan Morello, who takes us through the upcoming game schedule.
It's a busy week ahead for the Blue Devils, starting with our men's and women's soccer teams welcome Lourdes on Saturday. On Tuesday, the women's team also hosts Cornerstone, while the men's reserve team has road games on Sunday at Adrian and Thursday at Rochester. The men's varsity team also heads over to Rochester for an early 3 p.m. game on Friday. Both women's volleyball teams take on Concordia and Ann Arbor for a Saturday afternoon doubleheader. All home games will be streamed on our website. You can go find the complete schedule there as well, so make sure to visit LTUathletics.com. And of course, we have all the highlights right here on next week's installment of the LTU Sports Report.
That's our show for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check us out on social media at LTU Athletics for daily updates on everything happening at LTU. I'm your host, Elizabeth Kuhn, and I'll see you next time right here on LTU Sports Report.